Welcome to the Practice Podcast, a show created by lawyers to help lawyers in life and business without all the complicated lawyer language. Let's welcome Bast Amron founders and your hosts, Jeff Bast and Brett Amron.
Ooh, I was pausing to wait for you to say hello, and you did it to me. Welcome, Brett.
I've won. I declare victory.
You won.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Wow. It's pretty good. It's towards the end of a day, and you're still fantastic.
Yes.
It's on the front side of a week, yeah.
A Tuesday and the week following a vacation. It's
also, that's why he's in a good mood.
It's still lingering effects.
It's
the vacation trail.
That's right.
I'm not sure it works that way because it starts getting cut off as soon as you go back into your inbox.
It's been a while since I've had one, so
Yeah. Yes.
The rest of us are slugging along, but glad to see you glowing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
look at that. Look at the glow.
I'm not complaining. All right, Brett.
Yes, Jeff. This is time for the question of the day.
If your childhood had a smell, what would it be?
I don't even want to know where you got that question from. Roses.
Yeah?
Just
why?
Pure roses. I mean, look at me.
Is there a rose garden in your family?
Look at me.
You smell like roses.
I emanate beauty
there must be a scent.
and wonderful fragrance anytime I enter or exit a room.
I've never smelled bad BO on you. I will say that. And I've seen you at even the corporate.
Wait.
Even after a run.
Hold on. I'm gonna put my lawyer hat on. You said bad BO.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That means you've smelled BO. Like
not
body
from
odor.
you is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. But doesn't have to be bad. So you could just take the bad away and just say
from you.
I do try to keep my hygiene up.
Yeah.
That was taught to me at an early age. And as my wife always says, I'm probably the cleanest person she knows.
Well, there you go. That's good.
How about you,
your
Jeff?
childhood? Well, when I heard this question, and I did hear it somewhere else, the thought that came to me was chlorine. Because I swam in the pool as a little kid.
Man, I was like a fish.
Even in our house. At our house. And I always loved the smell of chlorine on my skin. And even now, when I smell chlorine on my skin, it reminds me of my childhood. So
I think that's a fair point. I mean, back in the day, I used to spend hours and hours and hours outside. Yeah. No sunblock, no nothing back then, right?
Yeah.
So in the pool, I think that's fair. The other smell, thinking about it, would probably be like holiday cooking and the food.
Turkey, like Thanksgiving type thing?
Thanksgiving, but really the Jewish holidays I remember more than Thanksgiving.
Omentashen or something?
Brisket and stuff like that I used to partake in before, seeing the light. All right. Are we done? Have we killed this?
Yeah. No,
I like the question. It's a good question.
I think people generally react that way to this questions.
I think we have to ask
Christina snickered a little
producer. And then we have to ask our guest that question too. Be curious to know what our guest is going to answer.
Our guest today,
she's had a lot of time
I think
to
she's got an answer. I saw a nod.
I do.
All right. Wait, who is that? What was that voice?
Oh, mystery.
All right. Our guest today is Katerina Tonkinson, also known as Katie. Katie is a valued member of our team at Bast Amron, where she has a practice that focuses on complex commercial litigation and insolvency-related matters. She's known for her thoughtful, strategic approach and her ability to navigate high-stakes disputes with precision, clarity, and a steady, solutions-oriented mindset.
Whoa.
Katie works closely with clients to understand both the legal and business dimensions of their challenges, delivering practical, results-driven guidance tailored to their goals. Her work often involves assisting clients through financially distressed situations, disputes, litigation. Katie earned her JD magna cum laude. Do you have one of those, Brett? From the University of Miami School of Law, where she served as a student notes and comments editor for the University of Miami Law Review. And during law school, she received multiple academic honors and scholarships in recognition of her outstanding performance, leadership, and commitment to excellence. And I could say that she's often the recipient of shout outs at our weekly huddles that we have here in the office. So welcome, Katie.
Welcome, Katie.
Thank you. What a nice introduction.
I'm just going to clarify something.
Did you write that? That's really good.
You said Katie was a valuable member of our team. I'd say all of our members of our team are valuable.
Absolutely.
Including Katie.
Yes. She is one of many valued.
One of many.
All the members of our team
Highly
are valued.
valued.
I think that's one of the strengths of this firm is that everyone is valued top to bottom. So,
We care.
Katie, do you have a childhood scent? Did something come to mind for you?
Yes. As soon as Brett gave the second answer, it clicked for me,
Brisket?
which is close.
No, Brett's answer, brisket.
For me, it's cookies. I come from a long line of bakers. That's actually where my first name comes from. Katerina was my great-grandmother. Is from Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
And she was a baker there.
Oh, really?
And then
no
immigrated in
Did she have
early
a
1900s.
specialty or was it everything? Like, what did she bake?
All kinds of things. I never got to meet her, but I knew she was one of those mothers who always had a cake in the cake dish. So when they were down to one slice, she would always have a cake in the oven ready to go.
So how long have you been here now at Bast Amron?
Ooh, wow. It's been my summer of my second semester of law school. So I think it's like
almost
2.5 years now.
And yet, I haven't
We
seen
haven't had
any
any
baked
baked.
goods being brought into the office,
Well,
Katie. I mean, we're going to out you here right now.
It's okay.
So I
Let's see if we can get a
expect,
commitment. Right.
like,
That's the
I
question,
expect some baked goods to start rolling out.
Okay.
And
Yes?
as you have
Is this a
two
yes? Is this a yes?
And
I
you
can
have-
make that work, and it
you
has to be vegan.
vegan,
Absolutely.
you can make two. You can make an option,
Okay.
but
So now
yes.
we're asking her for 2 cakes. It
No,
doesn't have to be cake
no.
either.
She definitely has to make a vegan one for you and I, but she can make it for everyone else.
So my question on that is,
Yes.
are there family recipes that are still in the family you're handed down from? This is your grandmother's?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We have a few different ones. The
Okay.
ones that come to mind are the nut horns,
Nut
Oh,
horns.
like
What's-
explain.
are
yeah.
they look like a croissant, but it's not croissant dough. It's like more of a shortbread that you roll up with chopped walnuts and sugar. They get nice and like kind of crispy and caramelized
Man,
in the
that
oven.
sounds delicious.
So I'll see if I can make
What's
a
it called
vegan
again?
version of that. We call them nut horns.
Nut horns. All right, cool. All right.
Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
Bread?
smells
Do you
like my
bake?
childhood.
Do you bake bread as well?
I don't.
No,
No. My mom did a little bit when I was younger, but no bread recipes for us.
Now, where was your mom born?
Mom was born here.
Okay.
So, yep.
And here in the U.S., where were you born again?
I was born in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
So, yeah, grew up for the most part in Lancaster,
Sure.
Amish country,
Yeah.
right outside of
Beautiful
Philadelphia.
country. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's very pretty farmland, rolling hills. So,
Excellent. And how'd you make your way down to South Florida? Tell us. Well, tell us
So-
where you went to college before.
yeah, I mean, that leads right into it. So, I went to college at Duquesne University, which is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, I studied music performance.
We're going to come back to that. So go ahead.
Absolutely.
That's the opposite end of the state for anyone who doesn't know the geography, right? Philly
Yes.
and Pittsburgh are really somewhat of opposite ends of the state. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So studied music performance and I was a flute major. So studied classical flute.
Wow.
And in my studies, I was able to take a music and the law class, which I thought was pretty cool. So it was taught at the law school, half law students, half music students. They taught you all about contracts and record deals and copyright. And I thought that was kind of cool. So in my high school years, when I was considering, what do I want to do with my life? Music had always been like my one true kind of like passion, goal, but it's pretty tough to make it in music. So I always had a great mentor who kind of planted the seed, like, consider law. Just, you're pretty good at academics. Katie, you like to argue. So why don't you keep that around in the background? So once I took this music in the law class, I kind of remembered back to that memory of my mentor professor telling me that and thought, hey, maybe I could do like music law. So I looked around for different law schools that provided a program like that. And University of Miami was one of the first ones to come up. Did like an online tour of the school since it was the COVID years and really loved the school and decided, why don't I come down and really explore and venture out there? And here I am.
Okay, so music law, which I understand. So you went to UM. At what point did you either realize that maybe that's not, I don't want to go into music law, maybe I want to do something else? Or do you still have that sort of interest and desire at some point to sort of branch off and start doing some of that work?
Yeah, I think it was maybe my first or second year. I was part of their, honors program because they have an entertainment arts and sports law program that you can do JD LLM. And I thought it was pretty cool. Like I was definitely interested in like the course materials, and then like getting to meet practitioners in that area, you learn like it's a pretty small field, and it's also pretty hard field to break into if you don't have connections already.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of a practical decision of, well, like I could, you have to work in a different kind of way to break into that field.
Right.
And so for me, it just didn't really seem to fit my personality. I mean, it ended up leading me here, which I'm very happy about.
And we're
So
grateful.
are we.
Yeah.
So are we.
Yeah.
So flute performance. So how many flute performance students were in the program in undergrad? Because were there that many flute
In my
performance
year,
major?
I was the only one.
And is it called a flautist?
Ooh,
No.
you could say flautist or flutist. This is a hot
Don't be
debate.
showing off.
You see?
You're
I'm
just
just
showing
saying.
off. You knew that.
You didn't.
You might. I
the
just
look
saw
of astonishment
I just saw
on Jeff's face
He Googled it
when I used that term. Astonished that I knew that.
I'm
Yeah.
shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm a well-read student.
Did you play flute in high school, or how did you tell us the origin of the flute? Because I mean, not the origin of the flute, your origin. Of the flute. I don't want the whole origin.
We don't have enough time for the origin of the flute, but
That's a
your
long one.
origin with the flute. Yes.
Yeah, I picked up the flute when I was 10. I was actually living in Mississippi at the time. Moved around a bit in my childhood. And then that was the first year I went to a school that let you, do the band thing, play all the instruments and pick one you liked.
Right.
I actually did not want to play the flute. I wanted to play the trumpet because I thought that was cool. Like that was kind of a tomboy thing to do.
Okay.
But flute was like, oh, that's like girly girl. But when you do the whole, try out every instrument, which just gross concept, all the kids gross thinking back. But when I did that, they, whatever the teacher was, said, you are really good at flute. Like you just naturally have that. Wow. It's called the embouchure is how you position your lips to play an instrument. And he was just like, you have the embouchure. You should really think about it.
Now, did you really have it, the embouchure, or did he just need a flute player? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. All right.
But yeah.
Well, 'cause I would think that would be because, for example, you were the only flute player in your school. That would be, you're somewhat unique. There are probably 1,000 piano players or guitar players, not 1,000, but and so as a flute player, you're one of a kind.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you still play?
I do, not as much as I used to, but I do love picking it up when I'm feeling stressed or need
I was going to say,
get through it.
is it a stress reliever for you? And do you pick it up and just start playing? Is there a particular piece or a particular music that you like to play?
Ooh, I love playing Debussy. He has a beautiful flute piece that is just super nice to play through.
Do you know it by heart, or do you read the music?
It depends. Sometimes I might need it just because I like to see my own notes. I think that's pretty cool in playing music when you collect it after a while. Like I still have the notes I took when I was in like high school written on it.
Cool.
So you live in an apartment.
I do.
Do any of your neighbors hear you? Do they,
I want to
It's a
hear.
great question. If they do, they don't complain.
No,
Right.
they probably
So that's
love
good.
it. It's very soothing, the flute, I feel
Yeah.
like, right? If played well.
I don't think anyone would complain with a neighbor playing the flute. Trumpet, maybe, or something like, drums for sure. Flute, you're good. So I'm going to make a request. You're asking for
baked goods.
baked goods. I'm going to ask for a flute performance.
Yeah.
That would be
Ooh,
my
that I can
request.
do.
And I
like
think
that.
we have confirmation from Christina too. She's
How about at a Monday morning?
Or a
like
huddle,
An
yeah.
easy way to
Say.
soothe in the Monday, right?
Yeah.
Soothe in, yeah.
So
that'd be nice.
I have a question related to your music background. Do you think that your music background has helped you in some way in your career as a lawyer?
I really do think so.
Please
for me,
elaborate.
Yeah, for me, it just taught me the work ethic. Like being a musician, you have to have that just dedicated mindset to practice, practice, practice. And so for me in college, that was literally in a practice room, not too much bigger than this, just by myself playing through music for maybe 8 hours a day. And so I think having that just routine, that dedicated mindset in being able to put a goal to myself and then hold myself to that goal was really, really important to get me through law school, to become a lawyer. I think that is just really important to have.
And I would think the attention to detail needed to perfect a piece, break it down and work on each sort of area, right? I'm using the wrong terms, but forgive me. But each sort of section of a piece, right? It's similar to putting together a brief or an argument or preparing for deposition in that you break it down and you work on each section and then it comes together as a whole piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had very detail-oriented teachers along the way where I think the analogy here is a lot of in flute, you're thinking about where you're placing your breath, because that can sound kind of ugly at points, or it can really break up a musical phrase. And so I think of that as like comma placement and like grammar and syntax when you're writing a brief.
Yeah.
So there definitely was a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah. I think also like in music, it's the combination of structure and creativity, because you can't just like vomit a bunch of notes onto a page and have it sound right. You have to have some structure, but you also want it to be creative. And that's very similar to what we employ in legal writing.
Yeah.
Structure and creativity.
Definitely.
So you can read music. Cool. Can you write music?
Yeah, I haven't composed anything in a long time.
But you have done that.
I have, absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
When I was in high school, I was in a rock band. Oh. So that was more of what I was writing.
Playing the flute in a rock band?
No, singing.
Singing?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a singer too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I
think the flute in a rock band is, underappreciated. Jeff
Listen,
the only one that.
Well, listen, violin, Dave
violin
Matthews.
Too, yeah,
we have a lot of, right? Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. So for any music majors out there, law school, were there any other kids in your class that ended up in law school? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Not at Duquesne. No, I don't think any of them went into law.
I don't think that's the typical path to law school.
No. Flute major to law school. I know it's not typical.
But I think a music major, I agree. I'm not surprised to hear that it's beneficial. English majors or business majors are a dime a dozen, but there aren't. We don't see a lot of music majors, coming through. Yeah. So it's cool.
So taking a step back, you said you moved around a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Like why and what was some military or no other reasons?
Not military. My dad was in nuclear engineering.
Oh, that's okay. Here we go.
So I guess there's only a few nuclear power plants in the U.S. And so they would move him to different plants that needed. He was involved in like safety.
Important.
So pretty important when you're dealing with nuclear power.
Yeah, wow.
So we moved around quite a bit from PA to Mississippi, spent a year in New Jersey, and then ended up back to Pennsylvania.
It seems very stressful, having all of that, the safety and being an engineer in that. Did you ever talk to him about that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I actually did a bring your kid to work day back when I was in maybe middle school, elementary school. And I remember just seeing through the plant, you have to walk through a decontamination chamber on your way in and on your way out. And I was just like, I hate this and we'll never do this. But no, it was certainly a stressful job for him.
In Pennsylvania, is it 3 Mile Island?
Yeah, he worked at 3 Mile Island for a little bit.
Where was that? Is that near Lancaster or no?
I think it's maybe an hour or maybe 2 hours away, but yeah.
Or it's Lancaster, right? Is that how they pronounce it? Not
Lancaster,
right?
That's right, yeah.
I wonder if in the power plant there's a lot of Homer Simpson references.
Yes. I can tell you absolutely. The Dilbert daily calendars all around.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Okay, so you recently, it's been a couple years now, have recently gone through the whole law school summer associate interviewing process. What advice would you give to the young Katie Tonkinsons, the ones who are thinking or just entering law school or thinking about law school? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, law school is tough. I certainly don't need to be the one to tell you that, but I think keeping a big picture idea really helped me get through it, of just reminding myself, okay, this is the end goal. And for me, it was always I want to do a job where I can, help people in some kind of capacity and do interesting kind of work. Because in law school, it's a lot of reading cases from the 1800s that are certainly important because they set, certain standards. Yeah. But it's difficult. And I feel at times you really get bogged down in some of those, the older stuff and really complicated discussions. So, just keep the big picture in mind. Remember why you're doing it. having a good support system. My mom was like my go-to person when I was feeling stressed.
Yeah.
I don't have a lawyer in my family. I was the first one to go to law school. So just calling up my mom and being like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. But she would be the one to be like, no, you got this. You've done, XYZ to get here. You can get all the way through.
That's nice to have that, right? So the means to an end. Law school was a means to an end.
Yeah. In a way.
Yeah, for me as well. I mean, I didn't particularly enjoy law school, but I think it was the focus of, I need to do this to get there.
Absolutely.
And so that's helpful. What about while you're in law school, to those that are listening that may be in law school that are thinking about a career in a different, whether it's litigation, transactional, music law, whatever it is, what advice would you have for them in terms of making it a little more easy for the transition, finding a job and transitioning while you're in law school, to after?
Yeah. I think don't be afraid to reach out to people and just ask, can I have maybe 15 minutes of your time? I'll buy you coffee. Can we just talk about, what you do, what your career is like? Because I think it was those conversations with some of the music law practitioners that made me realize like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this forever. I think that's really helpful because law school is also very different from practicing law. And you don't really get a good sense of that, maybe except unless you're in a clinic. But yeah, I think just talking to people, not being afraid to try new and different things too. Because coming here, in all honesty, I had no idea what bankruptcy really was. I hadn't taken the class yet. I had taken like business organizations, I think is what calls it. And I really liked that. I thought that was cool. But definitely reaching out into like the bankruptcy space was something I had no idea what I was doing. But again, taking that leap and then actually getting into the work, seeing what we do here, I thought, oh, this is actually a neat path. And I think I would like to do this.
Yeah. And I think figuring out what you don't want to do is also equally important. So you're saying trying those things and talking to people and sort of check this one off the list. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Sometimes we find our path by eliminating other paths.
Yeah.
So what about one thing that surprised you when you started working or that you've been working now for a couple of years?
That is a good question. I think for me, the surprising thing was how much of a maybe like people's game practicing law is and just how important it is to build interpersonal relationships and just understand how people work. Like, I think when, you don't really get this experience in law school, like how to talk to opposing counsel, how to talk to your client, two very different, the judge, all totally different relationships you're going to have, but relationships you need to master. And so knowing how to write emails that are effective and clear and if they're to opposing counsel, conveying your point, but also not being too forceful. You still got to be respectful and professional. I think knowing that there is so much of like a personal aspect to practicing the law was a bit of a surprise for me.
Right. So for those kids that are listening, get your nose out of the computer, off the screen, and actually interact with people and learn how to do that. Read a room, read a face, read body language, and learn how to communicate is important.
Yeah.
And the mode of communication too is, I think, the fallback is always to send an email. But the risk with email, I think, with our communication, what's most important is certainty of like the message. You want to be sure you're sending your message, the message you want to send in the clearest way. And what is received may or may not be the same message that you send. But if you send it in writing, it's subject to multiple readings as opposed to communicated verbally. You can get a little bit more certainty as to how, what message is delivered. And so I think you raise a great point. The human side is such a critical component of what we do. And understanding people, what motivates them, how are they going to take this? Sometimes we see young lawyers, typically they're a little too passive. Sometimes they're too aggressive. They're, sending a request for an extension and like demanding it. And it's like, oh, hey, calm down. They're going to give this to it. This is a friend of ours. You don't have to attack them. Or, great point. I love that.
All right. So when you're not here working and you're not playing the flute, what is Katie doing to relax?
I know this one. I'm on this.
Ooh.
I'm on it.
Oh, well, do you want to
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer. I'm excited about
her guest.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
I love to write.
Yeah.
So
That's not
that
even-
is.
My answer was going to be totally K-pop related.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
well,
could be. It
that's-
could
Be
be.
watching K-pop. Yeah, go ahead.
Tangentially related, I
Writing,
guess.
yes, okay.
I love to write. Yeah, I've been an avid writer since I could hold a pencil. So that is my go-to. Like I have said ever since I was in high school, because I have been working on different novels, different short stories. My goal every day is to write just something, whether that's going back into a draft and adding a comma or adding a new sentence or a whole, extra chapter, 1,000 words. My goal is just write something every single day.
Have you written a novel?
I guess I've written a couple.
And where
None
are
of them
these
are
novels?
published.
And what is your, is it fiction? Is it nonfiction? Is there a particular genre?
Fiction for sure. I had a great professor. I took creative writing for a couple semesters in college. And my professor said, my go-to is a romance story with a twist. So I loved that.
Interesting.
And that has always been my genre. Yeah.
So is there one character named Beffrey Jast? in one of your...
Definitely.
Definitely. Sorry. That's pretty cool, though, that you write, right? A good portion of what you do here is write, whether it's composing an email, as you say, or composing a document that ultimately gets sent off or filed. But you also enjoy it so much that you like to go home and sort of throw some words on a screen. Do you actually, I should ask, do you handwrite it?
Yeah.
Or do you type it?
She said pencil.
I've definitely turned to more online writing on my laptop. I write a lot in the notes app of my phone. That's where most of my drafts are right now.
Oh, got to
I also
capture
have
those.
I also have a journal where I do some handwriting as well.
And have you considered publishing your novels?
Yeah, I'd love to get to that point one day, whether I do like self-publishing or actually try to reach out to actual publishers. But that is for sure a goal of mine.
Well, for anybody who's listening that might have an ability to work with you and publish, Katie's
We
here.
have some contacts. We might be able to do it.
We do.
Wow.
This will be interesting. All right.
So writing, baking, flouting.
Yeah, but how
That's not a word. I'm
you
just-
said that the K-pop and the writing intersect. So please explain.
So for the K-pop thing, we might as well explain
Let's do the K-pop thing.
that.
First of all, what's a K-pop? No, I'm kidding.
He's
It's a
old.
cereal.
Oh,
Kellogg's. I'm just kidding.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I have been a K-pop fan. So that's Korean pop music. Way before it was cool. Because I think we've reached
Oh,
the
yeah, for sure.
part where it is cool now. But yeah, I started listening to K-pop when I was in high school.
How did you find it? Or how did it find you?
Online. Yeah, I think I
Online.
saw just a random video either on like Facebook or whatever social media was back then. That was one of these groups like dancing and performing. And I was like, that's really cool. I've never seen anything like this. And I've been in music my whole life.
Yeah.
So, I just started listening to different groups and then kind of, I don't know, my music taste is very eclectic. Like I listen to all kinds of things. So kind of fell out of the K-pop thing. And then last year decided to pick it back up. And yeah, that has been a big passion of mine in recent.
Yeah, you've seen quite a few K-pop shows.
I did.
Last
Last year I saw
last year.
Stray Kids and ATs, who are two of my favorites right now. So yeah.
It's cool.
You know who they are, right?
Yeah, I was there too. I was with her.
Of course.
That's right.
Of course, yeah. Of course. Wow. All right. Well, I feel like we've learned a lot.
Yeah, we have.
We're going to get baked goods and we're going to get a performance, a flute performance.
We're hoping for these things.
And perhaps even a singing performance. And then, maybe a signed copy of her first novel. I'm putting this all out there. It's
This is,
recorded, so that means it has to happen.
Christina's, putting her hands together.
Exactly.
Hoping for it as well.
Exactly.
Katie, this has been fun.
Yeah. Thank you for doing
Really
it,
a
Katie. We
pleasure.
appreciate you.
Christina.
Thank you, Christina. Thank
Brett,
you.
Thank you. And
Gotta
if you
do our
enjoyed
readout.
if you enjoyed this show, please show us some love. Leave us a 5-star review and subscribe and share the show with your friends and family. And we'll see you next time on the Practice Podcast.
For more information on this show and other resources, visit bastamron.com and connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Bast Amron.